Yeah, you know what. Hello everyone, I'm High Treason, and this is The Long Drive. I'm not touching the gas pedal, what are you on about? I'm touching it now. This trailer's got to go. I'm sorry I'm getting rid of it before it does something bad. Because it will, and there's no point in us lumping it around, it's just wasting fucking diesel. So, we're going to get out, we're going to detach it right there in the middle of the road. So that's smart. Hey, I ain't seen another car around here, have you? That means the only person who's going to crash into it is us on the way deck. And it'll be your fault. Still haven't replaced the radio. Yeah, geez, night time's coming in. I kind of like driving at night. It's like riding my bike at night, it's more fun. Like, I like going on, like, all the back roads through the countryside. There are no lights on them, it's just pitch black. It's, you can see where all the old stories came from, of, like, monsters and shit. Because your senses just go in overdrive. I mean, obviously I have a light on the bike, but I can only see maybe 50 foot of road in front of me at best. And that is including what I can barely see at the edge of the light. Really, probably only about 20 feet is, like, you know, it's not real good. You can hear every little thing, and if you look over your shoulder, you can't see anything. There's nothing to see, it's just black. And what gets me is this is with electric lights. I have tried to ride an unlit road with a kerosene light lamps. If you don't know, my bikes are ancient, like early 1900s stuff. And yeah, I have tried to do it, and you can do it, but the light's orange and dim and flickery, and it's really hard to focus on anything. So to think people used to fucking ride like that, it's like, jeez, man. I really feel for those people, because someone would have done it with candles. Like, some of the earliest bicycle lamps were the ones that, you know, they just repurposed technology from carriages. They just had candle lamps. It was just a candle in a metal box with, like, a glass fucking opening in it, like, for the candlelight, and it's like, people rode on unlit roads with this. Jeez, man. I mean, I would do it. I would definitely do it, but you can't go very fast. Like, you know, with the electric lights I can still sort of comfortably do 15, 18 miles an hour, which is a good speed on such an old bike, because they're so fucking heavy and so unyielding, you can't. I mean, I could push more speed, but I wouldn't really want to, necessarily. It's just hard work, and they don't stop quickly, they don't steer very well. You have to know what you're doing with them to actually steer them. Like, you can't pussyfoot about with it. You basically have to just throw the thing around corners. Like, you properly have to be aggressive with it, or else it's not going to go where you want, and you're going to end up in trouble. But do I want to do that, like, when I can barely see where I'm going? Hell no. Like, yeah, it must have been pretty rotten for people who had to ride back then. Yeah, my electric light is, you know, they're an early dynamo set, and they're better than they would have been back then. Because I found out, you know, I figured it's a 6 amp 6 volt dynamo. They made motorcycle bulbs with the same fitting that was 6 volt, and we have LED now, so we can put a bulb in that's equivalent to a much higher wattage, and we can put LED motorcycle bulbs in it, and they gives way more light than the original incandescent bulb does. And it's like, so even with the electrics, you wouldn't have been doing that great, and it would have been a more orangey light itself. I do have the original bulb. Yeah, there's people back then. It must have taken some balls to do it with fucking candles. And the thing is as well, if it goes out, like the kerosene lamps will do it, if you hit a bump too hard, it knocks the flame out. So then you would have had to get off the bike in pitch darkness, try and get a match to go, it might be windy, you know, and light the thing again. Obviously the same with the candles. It's like, wow. Fucking wow, people actually did this, you know. And in some places it must have been absolutely terrifying. I mean, it ain't so terrifying to me, you know. I always have a big chain in arm's reach if I'm on a bike. But you do still have that thing that, hey, someone could just run out and try and get me, you know. Well, they could be wild animals. Could be rabbits, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit sort of nerve-wracking, I guess, but it's fun. It's a bit like being on a roller coaster, just a lot slower. I suppose they didn't have to worry about motor cars as much as I do. I have to be really weary of them. So I have like EL wire all over the place and high-vis and everything. People back then wouldn't have had that, but I guess they wouldn't have needed it so much because cars went a lot slower and they made a lot more noise. Now, these electric cars, man, they're fucking lethal. And so are electric bikes. It's something I hate about my electric bike is pedestrians can't hear it coming. The thing will do about 38 miles an hour and pedestrians cannot hear it when you're on a shared path. It's like, yeah, you know, arguably a two-stroke would be safer because people are going to hear the two-stroke. Two-strokes are noisy. You're not going to hear electric. And if there's some kid, like, off the side who just runs out because he didn't hear the bike coming, then you're in all kinds of trouble. I mean, obviously the solution is to just go slower, but that's a bit shit, you know. It would be better if the bike made a fucking racket and I could go faster on it. The old bicycles make a distinct noise, and I know people can hear them because the Lycra men, they hear it if you go to... I wonder why did that happen? If you try overtaking them, they typically look around as you approach, because when you're in the higher gears, first gear's always engaged, and so you're actually just overrunning that gear, and so you can hear the poles skipping. You get this distinct tick 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 out of the wheel hub, and because the gears are inside the hub, it's a planetary gearbox. Yeah, they can hear it, like, and they look around, like, and you just ride past them, sat 7 foot in the air, and just look down at them with this kind of peasants kind of. They don't like it. They zoom straight by you again, but it's pretty fun to irritate them. You'll never catch them. The most I've ever pushed on that heavy roadsters, the faster of them, and the most I ever got out of that's 28 miles an hour, and trying to pedal that kind of fucking speed out of a bike that weighs like, you know, clocking on 100 pounds or whatever. It's no mean feat. You can't do it for very long. I need to start riding it again because my stomach is presently recovering, and I would love to get back into cycling. I've really missed doing it. It's something I do enjoy. I still want to get a motorcycle because I don't like doing cycling to run chores, you know, to go to a shop or something in shit fucking windy weather. It's crap, and I don't believe in turning something I enjoy into something shit. I think even once I have like powered transport like that, I won't stop pedaling. Like, you know, I will always use a push bike because I like them. I enjoy riding them, and it's good for you. I don't know, it's good for the environment. People tell me it is. I'm like, well, oh no. I mean, my bike, you know, my push bike does get through quite a bit of oil, so. I suppose at this point it's basically, you know, would they say it was fucking carbon neutral or something, just solely because it's so old. It's been around so long, it's not really putting anything back in the environment anymore. What is this? Nature and Gals magazine. Oh, jeez, it's just pushing me to tell you that story. Maybe I will. Ugh. Tolls, why is it so good to go inside them? Getting to know nature. What to do if you die in a tunnel? Well, I think that would be your problem. Funny, is it? Backsides of magazines should be funny. My book cover sort of works like that. Like where the back of it is the back of the thing that's on the front of the book. I know I won't be the only person who's done it, so it's good to see someone else do it, even if it is in a game. I heard a raboid. I'm sure they're gonna come. They're coming to get me. That's enough. That piece of shit will run on that. This is a Dacia. And that is a gutted out moped. This car isn't fantastic, so we won't be driving this Audi. It's like I said, we got to faff about with it, haven't we? Well, that broke it. That actually killed the engine, I'm surprised. Not the most hard-wearing car, is it, this one? Yeah, I've never really driven these. It's like a fucking banana car. It's Bananarama. She's got it! Yeah, baby, she's got it! I always think of that as, you know, I'm always torn between all my PCs have like stage entry music, which is just kind of a joke thing, really. I often think, should I have that for the slow 286? I mean, it has that particularly sort of crap 80s sound about it. It suits the thing. But then I sort of like, had like St. Elmo's Fire and Laura Branigan Self-Control, so, oh, that has a physics bug. You hear that clashing noise? This is real common in the game now. Now if we get up some speed, there you go. You see the way the car bounced, like, and it did that, as if you'd hit something. So if you hear that noise, nothing seems to fix it. Even saving and reloading doesn't seem to make it go away. Jeez, man. Yeah, talk about wrecking the environment, talk about nature and goals. Fucking hell. Yeah, that girl that I knew, she would be just creaming her knickers over this world. And over the trails of black smoke and the, you know, she would honestly get off on it. That was the sort of thing that got her off. I've known more than one girl like this. I've known two that were like this. But not in quite the same way. This is the thing, they always blame men. Like, oh, it's men who ruin the environment. It's like, I think most men don't really give it much thought. Like, it's not like they're actively trying to ruin it, it's just that, you know, other things are on their mind. Whereas women seem to be more extreme about it, where they will go to extremes to try and conserve the environment, or go to extremes to try and destroy it. It's pretty weird. But yeah, that girl, it's the curse, you see. I never wanted to ruin it for her. Because I got stuck with, like, you know, this fat chick. Just the, I'm like, right, fine, you know. I just got sort of, me and I got thrown out in the middle of nowhere, which I was fine with. I like being in the middle of nowhere. I like the outdoors. I like nature, you know. I'm quite at home in that sort of setting. She wasn't. Like, she's just like indoors girl through and through. All she wants to do is sit in front of the telly in her room with the heating cranked up, eat lots of food, listen to some crap music. You know? That's all she wanted out of life. And so I didn't feel kind of bad for her really until she just kept whining at me. I hate it here, I can't stand it. Oh God, well I didn't ask for you to be here. I hate it, stupid. I hate the outdoors. They're scary. There's mud everywhere and there's like bugs and it's dirty and there's not even anything here. So, well, I mean, there's like lots of nice stuff here, you know, like you know, trees and flowers and butterflies. I hate them, they're horrible. It's like, oh God. And I hate walking, it's hard to walk here and the ground's all lumpy and there's, for fuck's sake, stop. And of course the car catches up after we've been there about an hour. I'm just walking like, you know, on that car, she's struggling to keep up, whatever. And then she stops. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you now? I'm not waiting for you, so you better fucking hurry up. She's like, I need a wee. I'm like, oh good for you, go and squat under a tree or something. She's like, no, I'm not doing that, I'm a girl. It's like, well, tough, you don't have to, because there's nowhere else to do it. She's like, what, there's not even toilets here? I'm like, well no, they just put those in the middle of, like, you know, fields and stuff. Like, what do you expected? I think people used to do in the old days. Well, I can't do that, I'm a girl. Oh God, this place is so stupid. I was proper annoyed about it. I'm like, right, well, you're just going to have to hold it then, aren't you? And I made it probably about 5 foot before she starts whining at me. No, I can't hold it, I've got to go. Well, fine, just go and fucking squat somewhere, there's nobody around. But she's not having it, she's like, no, I can't, someone might see me. It's like, for fuck's sake. And the place we were, there was like these banks that slope down, like, they're all overgrown with trees and stuff, so it's like, well, walk down there then, you know. Like, no one will see you down there. I don't want to go on my own. Someone might, it's like, for fuck's sake, I'll walk down there with you if it means that much to you. Just get it over with, because I'm getting sick of hearing you whining. I walk down there, and she's like, there's nothing to sit on. It's like, well, of course not. Squat somewhere. It'll go on my shoes. I'm like, you've done nothing but whine that they're fucking covered in mud. They might wash the mud off. No. It's like, for fuck's sake. And so I'm looking around, she's like, I need to sit on something. I'm like, it's not that important. And there's like this rotted out tree stump there, and I'm kind of like, well, sit on the edge of there and fucking spray the floor, just get it over with. Like, I can't be doing with this. Like, I don't need you whining, I don't need you making a scene out of it. And she just kind of stars at it for a while, and she looks fucking annoyed by it and grossed out by it, as I expect. And I'm like, yeah, she's going to shout about it. No, it's gross, I'm not sitting on that. And it just walks up to it and starts pulling her fucking panties off. You know, it's like, oh, alright, well, she's not telling me to look away, I might as well look at her minge, you know. And she sits on the thing, and she didn't sit on the edge like I told her. It was like rotted out in the middle, so it's like hollow. So I don't know, I guess she's like, well, that's kind of like a throne. But as she turns round to sit, you know, her face is completely different. It's sort of spiteful now. But there's this like weird little smile in the corner of her mouth as she plonks down and starts fucking gushing into the hollow space in the middle. She's like, it's about time nature had a taste of girl. She's a fucking bitch. I can't fucking stand her. Make her fucking taste the indoors and all this lot. Finished taking a whiz and started fucking grinding her slit up against the edge of the thing. And I'm just kind of stood there like, what the fuck is this all about? She finishes doing this, gets up, fucking wanders off just giggling to herself. She didn't complain once all the way back. I'm just like, the fuck was that all about? And she's just gone, just giggling at me. I'm like, fucking weird. Like, why do I always end up hanging around with the weird people? I don't need this shit. I don't need this shit. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Oh shit, I look away from the screen for 1 second because it would be a tree that nearly killed me. Tree, it wasn't me. I didn't do that. But yeah, of course, as she's getting mad, you know, fucking nature's a bitch, I'll show her her place. She needs to fucking taste indoors gall. Fucking hope it kills the fucking forest, whatever bullshit she was coming out with. I didn't really want to spoil it for her because what she was doing was probably about the best thing she could have done for it. Like, because it was like rotten wood, like, you know, anything that would have done damage about it, like, it's just not going to happen because it'll just soak into the dead wood and the rain will dilute it, and all you're going to do is end up putting so amount of nitrates in the soil and more stuff's going to grow better now. So, well, I don't want to ruin it for her. I'll just leave. I think she's wrecking the place. But yeah, you used to see it, like, you know, getting to her if she saw, like, deforestation going on the TV or something. Strange girl. See, I knew another girl who didn't do that, but she was maybe a bit more effective in her goals, because, like, she would just pour fucking salt and diesel, you know, burn plastic as much as possible. It did get her off, but I mean, I don't know if it was more weird or less weird, but she at least told me what it was about. I mean, I think with that fast girl, I think it was a lot of it was just fear, and it was like the one thing she was in control of. It was like you could tell it was sort of like revenge to her, you know, like punishing it. To the other girl who I knew was a bit like that, it was she actually told me, like, she's like, well, you know, she was fat as well, and she's just like, well, you know, I'm fat and stupid, I'm not really that good looking, I'm never going to be famous, I'm not going to invent something that's going to change the world. You know, when I'm gone, nobody will remember me, the fucking world will though, I'm going to leave an impression on it that's not going to go away. Just like, oh jeez, why do I always end up with the weird people? Yeah, so, you know, like I say, I've known some strange people over the years. Very, very strange people. Thankfully, I'm not like that, you know. I don't try and ruin the environment. It's like, well, I have to live on this fucking planet, so I'd rather not fuck it up. Well, you know, maybe when I'm not on this planet anymore, then fuck it up. Like, can you just leave it, like, until then, please? Like, you know, I don't need it wrecking while I'm still here. That's just not convenient to me, you know. And plus, I'd rather not get rid of all the forests and stuff. I mean, you know, they're cool, they look cool, they're nice places, I enjoy being in them. I mean, shit, I just planted a bunch of fucking trees in my back garden. Could do with that girl around here, to be honest. She'd probably whiz on them, which would be good, because my soil needs to be more acidic, and there's no point me doing it. I'm a guy, mine's alkaline, you know. Get out of there, they're more acidic. Yeah, I'd rather not have my garden reek. Thank you very much. We'll just use metals and stuff to affect soil pH. It's a bit easier, plus I got scrap metal, so... So yeah, there you go. Told you. The great thing is I don't dwell on stupid and horrible things, I tend to just laugh at it. Like, yeah, like I think I said before, you know, it's... You have that moment where it's like, oh god, that was horrible. And then, like, you get past that and just like, oh my god, that was stupid, you know? You just kind of have to. The problem is, like, thankfully it's not something I run into much now, but, you know, it's, my coping mechanism tends to be to laugh at shit. And so I guarantee you, if I was hanging out with some girl and she had to drop her knickers and take a leak in the middle of nowhere, I'd burst out laughing. She'd probably just be like, what the fuck are you laughing at? Like, why is this so funny to you? I'm like, well, it's a long fucking story. Jeez, we're driving a bit too fast here, especially with it being night time. I need to slow down. But then you don't get nowhere in life if you don't take risks. One thing I can say is the rocks just play with statistics. Like, there's never a guarantee here, but if a rock spawns, like, say, in this left-hand lane, then drive in the right-hand lane, because it's just statistically less likely that a second one will be in the left lane. It can happen, there's no rule about this in the game's logic. So, you know, don't rely on it, but you're just kind of toying with probability a little bit here. You know, I am kind of my own worst enemy when it comes to the car, so I let some girl nag me into building her a fucking bog once. I'll maybe elaborate on that someday, because it's pretty stupid and it's kind of funny, or I think it's funny. See, I'm glad I don't have to do that sort of thing anymore. Now, I just build things that I want. Like keyboard stands, and keyboard shelves, and trolleys. I built a trolley for my shelves so I can wheel them around. I built a diesel tricycle. That was fucking fun. I liked that thing. Rozzers don't like things like that, it turns out. Bloody hell, we're getting a lot of these diners. These are not common buildings usually. I always get the weird seeds when I play this game. Who threw that? That girl, though, I assure you, she would like let out a delighted little giggle if she was in the car every time she drove past something dead. Like that would make her day, knowing that a wretched tree had died. You know? So come on, I like trees. Leave them alone. What did they do to you? It's not far. Was that me or was that Raboids that were banging about? I hope the electricity stays on for a second when you take these out. Yeah, we're going to go for this. Probably won't be any spare headlights. I don't think we're going to need any fuel or water or anything. You can use this, you know. Just figure I better show you. Yeah, you can use that. Probably won't keep this part going much longer. We probably should start looking for fuel soon, you know. It's not hard, really, to find. Yeah, there's no hurry, is there? Oil we should have enough of. We'll go one more building and then we'll call it a part. But yeah, now you've heard a really horrible, gross story. I wonder where that girl is now. I wonder where that other girl is now. Second one's probably like really famous or something. The world just made that happen just to spite her. Like, oh really? Yeah, how do you feel now? Difference is I actually quite liked her. Like, other than that, like, she was pretty cool. Whereas that fast one, I don't really like her very much. She was just annoying. Not very nice. I'm sure something fell off my car, but I'm not stopping now. No, not going to happen. Maybe I should stop at buildings more just because I'm recording, but I don't know. I do need to remind myself more to elaborate on game mechanics and stuff, don't I? I mean, you don't even know how long the game is or anything yet. I'll try and remember to talk about that in the next one. I'm driving too fast. Yeah, you see when the lights move down ahead of us like that, you'll very far into the ride you will actually start sort of seeing what's going on, like where it's like there's a world under the world, and it sort of drops down as this world sort of draws in. It's really weird. You can't actually get down there, you can't drive in it or anything, but you can glitch yourself down there sometimes, or just go through a hole in the world, as that happens occasionally. Around Wells, actually I've not seen it in a while, maybe he's fixed it. Yeah, you can go down there, but you just fall and you can't get back. And if the game saves while you're down there, then, well, obviously you're fucked, because you can't get back up here. I was wondering if there should be a check for that, you know, if the players below the overworld floor, like, snap them back up, like if the game is loaded. I mean, you know, ideally you'd just have the player not be able to get down there, but I guess these things kind of happen. And the problem is the game's so big and so randomised that you're never really going to be able to account for every single situation, I guess. There's always going to be some obscure thing. You know, even games that I thought of as being quite robust with their world generation and shit did some really wacky things sometimes. I mean, you know, some of the maps Age of Empires 2 would generate, some of the things Minecraft will generate, are just fucking broken. And these are like, you know, pretty big games, like, you know, big name things compared to this. This is just, I think, two dudes, like, from, oh shit, I'm really sorry, man. I want to say Hungary, but I'm not sure it is Hungary. No, it probably is Hungary. Sounds Hungarian, sort of, like the sort of the words that are written on things and stuff, so maybe. Yeah, I think it's a couple of Hungarian dudes. And, yeah, you know, it's not exactly like it comes from a big studio with a big budget or anything. So really, props to the developer, because his world generation's actually not bad at all. Right, let's get to another building, then I'm going to fuck off. This car's time's nearly done. I'm actually kind of sad. We'll find another one. But yeah, this car really only has one more part left in it before we actively start looking to replace it, unless we decide to go a bit further. Maybe we could go farther with it. I've only just getting attached to this car. You know, it's starting to feel like my car. Driving too fast still. I think when the frame rate just goes up as soon as the lampposts turn off. We might go up more if we turn ours off. It's a bit hard to see now. Oh, that orange is nice. Wow, it's like driving in a fire. I had to fix my monitor. I thought the tube in my monitor was going bad, but it turns out just some resistors have drifted out of spec in the circuit that drives it. So if I replace those resistors and run the auto correction thing, I mean, I've done it, but it's compensating very hard for them. And if I just replace them with ones that are, you know, in spec and run that again, then the monitor will just calibrate itself and be like, oh, alright, you know, we're pretty much back to factory spec here. The tube, they'll all die eventually, and it saddens me. If I get to a point where I can't use a CRT monitor, I will just stop, because I can't stand LCDs, and I get this weird diagonal sort of rolling pattern. This is not a good stop. But I guess this is... Fuck it, I'm not starting. Those are shit. No, I'm not. I don't count those as buildings. Those bus stops. Fuck it. We're gonna keep going. That radio tower's not a building, but as I mentioned, then was it in the last part or was it early in this one? So we'll stop there, even though that's not really a building either. That's a water tower off to the left. We've never been to one of them. Maybe we'll go and have a look at that at the start of the next part. I never really go to them unless I really, really need water. And that just never really happens, because there's other ways of getting water in an emergency. Yeah, I do push the gas pedal and brake at the same time. It's a game. There's no damage model on those things. One of them Twin Towers buildings in the distance. The road might go past it. Yeah, here's the radio tower. Guess next time we should find a radio and listen to it. Jeez, I went a bit farther. That's Baccarat. So we'll get out and we'll have a look. So radio tower, alright. Can't really go up there. There's this thing, and nobody knows if it does anything, nobody knows what it does or how to make it do it. I mean, it probably does nothing, but there are some odd things in this game, and I do think there are things in this game that I've never seen. I think there might be things in this game that nobody's seen yet. Maybe this is one of them, but then it could also just do nothing, and probably does do nothing. You know, we can't really climb it. Try. Oh, come on. There is a flying vehicle in this game, believe it or not. It's extremely difficult to use. I'll tell you what, we're making progress here, we might actually do it. Come on. No. We killed ourselves. Deary me. Am I treason? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. We tried. I'm sure I've fallen farther than that in this game and lived. Could be a thing with momentum where it kept detecting us falling between rungs and just kept adding. Who knows? Oh well. I guess we're going to do a manual save, haven't we, just to officially top the distance. Posh totty. Deary me. Hey, that's not right. So the screen button is the caps lock key, and I pressed it as he was going into the tunnel. Anyway, thanks for watching. Oh shit, I wasn't recording. So we can do it just one more time then. Come on. Right up there, damn it. I mean, you can see we can do it. I did get up there, but I'd knocked the recording off. It doesn't seem there's anything you can interact with. Interesting, nonetheless, a mystery.